guys, welcome to the Cherohala Skyway. We are at the beginning of it. It runs from Robbinsville, North Carolina, all the way over to Tellico Plains, Tennessee, about 50 miles. So let's get this GS1200 running. So if you've never had the chance to come to the mountains, western North Carolina, and ride the Cherohala Skyway, I'm going to take you along for a little ride. We are probably going to hit rain somewhere, which will cut down on the enjoyment of the ride for sure, but will be the first moto vlog in the rain. As I can tell you, it can be, well, let me tell you, the temperature, we're at 2700, and let's see, the temperature is 76, so when we get to the top, it'll be much cooler for sure. I've been across several times, and actually more than several. It's always fun, but you never know about the weather, like I said, but we'll give it a shot. We're headed up the mountain. If I don't forget, I'll tell you kind of what our elevation is as we go along and the temperature to maybe keep you a little bit more interested. But I'm glad you're riding along, and let's see if we can't have a little fun. One of the great things about the Cherohala, now, before I tell you that, we're probably less than 20 miles from the tail of the dragon. So there's two really great roads here that are close together. And tail of the dragon is just really tight, corner after corner, curve after curve, and as you can see, there's curves here, but when we get more toward the top, there are definitely curves, but they're more like sweepers, and you can go around them with a little more confidence, always remembering to ride at your own riding level and at the same time, and it's already looking like it may rain on us. So we've got the climb gear on, and it's all unzipped, letting this nice cool mountain air flow through. But if it starts raining, we'll pull over and zip it up. You better know that. And stay dry. Dry, dry. That's why if you can afford some good gear, I say buy it. The Frog Togs, yes, they work. And yes, you will be hot. And we may pull in at some of these pull-offs here. You can see the overlooks here are just gorgeous. But you can kind of see how these corners are just like sweepers. Passed a lot of motorcycles downtown while I was fueling up in Robbinsville, so you know, that's I'd say there's quite a few bikes up here today. Tomorrow I hope to go over to the tail of the dragon and cruise through there one time for you guys. We'll see. If I do, I'll make sure and put the link in the video so you can click over there and watch that. We're already at 3,700 feet and a temperature of 71 in just a couple of moments. I've got the GS suspension set on dynamic, which it basically stiffens up your suspension with the rider and luggage, and makes it a little bit more fun, keeps your bike from diving into the corners, and makes it feel more firm as you go around the corners, which is I enjoy. And neat thing about GS is, at least this bike, you can drive it into these corners. It's not like you're falling into them. You just kind of drive into them. And with the overcast and the sun, I gotta tell you, this helmet makes it really nice. This Schuberth Pro, I think it's C3 Pro, something like that. C Pro, I can't remember. Anyway, it has the little flip down visor, sun visor inside. So handy. They're a German built helmet, and they do them very well, and you pay for it. But hey, it's your head, so if you're gonna spend some money, that's a good place to spend it. I'll guarantee that. Yeah, we're in Graham County, North Carolina. If you ever watch the TV show Moonshiners, much of it is recorded here in Graham County. As a matter of fact, I was looking downtown as I come through over the cabins where I was staying. A lady who checked me in said, you can find him usually, Jim Tom, at one of these few places, and I was looking for him as we come through, and he's just hilarious. But if I hadn't seen him, I was going to stop and try to get a picture with him. But yeah, moonshine in these hills. Now, I doubt they're up this high, Cherohala Skyway, but back in Graham County. As a matter of fact, where I'm staying, one of the characters, his name is Mark, first name, I can't remember his last name, but she said that he put in the sewer system for the cabins. That's what he actually does when he's not recording for the TV show. Pretty cool. All right, we are at 4,400 feet elevation. Here comes some other riders, and you can see these sweepers, how fun they are to just kind of glide around. Looks like I'm getting a little bit of precipitation on my shield. Not sure if the camera's catching that. I guess it is too. I don't know. Big turn to the right. You just kind of, whatever your preference is, you know, like I was in fourth, I can shift down to third, and it's whatever you like. Some bikes respond better, certain RPMs. This GS1200 has a lot of grunt, so really no matter what gear you're in, you're going to get that deep grunt that's going to pull out strong. But on the high end, to get up and get going quickly, obviously the higher gear, the quicker you see there. And the further we go, the better the views get. Alright, we are pretty much at the top, running along the ridge of Cherohala Skyway, and you can see there has been some rain that has hit the ground, so I'm going to have to slow it down, back it down, and click over to rain mode. Gotta be careful in the rain. I hate that. It's raining on us a little bit. Let's see here. I'm not sure if I can keep that screen clean or not. I'll be just smudging it up. I won't know till I get ready to edit it, exactly what it looks like. So there's some sunshine, then we have rain, and then there's sunshine, and then there's rain. It's interesting. Well, so far we haven't seen too many riders, but maybe a dozen or so. Passed several when the camera wasn't running. Again, we're still traveling along on some damp roads here, so we're just being careful. The Cherohala Skyway. The road number is 143 if you want to look it up on the map. And like I said, it runs between Robbinsville, North Carolina and Tellico Plains, Tennessee. And I see some really dark clouds up here. We may get blasted before this is over. See what I mean about just big old sweepers, almost like curling all the way around the side of the mountain. Got some drier roads here. Once again, turn it up a few notches. Big old sweeper. And one of the things you notice when you're around a place that's heavily populated by motorcycles, and especially you're running some tight turns, and definitely over on the tail of the Dragon, it is customary normally to wave at other motorcycle riders. But when you're in these curves and when you're concentrating on driving, I don't recommend it. Keep both hands on the wheel. Other drivers understand. Other riders, they understand. And that's something else I was thinking about too. Is if you're not careful when you're motovlogging, if you're trying to think maybe about what you're going to say or what you are saying, it can kind of take your mind, and if you're not careful, you're not concentrating as much on your driving, you're not concentrating as much on the other traffic around you, and that can be dangerous. And so I'm learning and trying to guard against that. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, we got up to over 5,000 elevation. Now we're back down to 4,400. And as you can tell, the clouds are threatening. And here we go into the state of Tennessee, which they call 165 West. If you're coming from the south up through Cleveland, Tennessee, or Georgia, looking for it. A little dampness in these curves. Be careful. It's an interesting story about the Cherohala Skyway and how it was built, why it was built, and I just cannot remember it. So you may want to Google it if you're interested. I do remember it being an interesting story. We are once again back in the rain with the sun shining. Love that. As hot as it's been though, if these evening showers will pass on by, these roads will dry out pretty quick. And yes, it fogs up in these mountains pretty quick. So it's raining pretty good here. Guess I need to try and zip up what I can while I'm moving. And look for a place to pull over. Yeah, as you can see, we did pull over and zipped up a few things, but it is coming down. I don't know if you can tell anything through the camera. It's raining. So what I was saying here, I mean, you can see up there's blue skies, and I guarantee you, in a few miles, it's going to be sun shining. You gotta be careful on some of these mountain runoffs where the water crosses the road. It can get really dangerous. Clean that off a little bit. So, as you can see, it's stopped raining. Still some damp spots on the road. Just trying to give you guys a view of the Cherohala Skyway. I know if you live out west or up north, Texas, I mean, it's probably going to be hard to get here to ride this road, but if you ever get a chance, you need to do that. But if you're anywhere on the East Coast, within 500-600 miles, whatever you do, take a couple of days or 3 and cruise down and spend the nights. There's a lot of great places to stay if you want a cabin or a motel, whatever it may be. Good food in the area, and you know, it's an experience that you'll never forget, that's for sure. I remember the first time I brought another friend of mine, his name's Chris, over. Had never been on the tail of the Dragon, and it had been raining a little bit, but it had dried off good. But being through there lots of times myself, I really didn't take into consideration just the fear that place can put in guys who are not used to riding in the curves and things. Now, it puts fear in me, period, especially when I'm thinking about oncoming traffic, crossing the lines or whatever. And trust me, when you go through there, you cannot take your eyes off the road, and you better concentrate or you'll be in trouble in a hurry. Just YouTube it, and you'll see a lot of crashes. Tail of the Dragon crashes. I'll bet you a ton of stuff will come up. Guarantee it. But I remember taking Chris, and I told him, I said, hey, we don't want to go. And he said, well, we're over here. I've never ridden it. I'd love to do that. And I said, okay, we'll go. And I talked to him before we took off, and I said, look, you ride at your level whatsoever. It doesn't matter if people come up behind you or what's going on. You just ride where you're comfortable, and just motion for the guys to go around you, kind of ease over to the side, and they will. But I'm telling you, there's so many riders, and I'll talk about this more tomorrow as we head over that way, hopefully, that just ride that thing every weekend, and they ride like crazy. Seriously. Saw a guy come through there one time with one arm. I'm not kidding. He came back by me like 2 or 3 times. I was sitting in one of the corners, which is typically what I like to do. I'll ride through maybe one time or halfway, and then kind of set up my chair and just watch the traffic coming and going. And like the 3rd time he came through, my buddy Doug was with me, DL4, and I said, did you see that? And he said, yeah. So the guy only had one arm. It was amazing. And he could outrun, I'll guarantee you, the way he was coming through there, most other riders. Pretty impressive. So we get another dark cloud up above us. I'm almost tempted to swing this thing around, and we're coming up on what looks like a three-wheeler of some kind. I'm not sure how kind they will be and let us pass, but we will see. If it's a Can-Am or what it may be. Most of the time, guys who are traveling a little slower will just wave you around, or they'll pull over. And I don't like to make guys nervous. It looks like he pulls a trailer with this, and they're two up. So I'd say he's a pretty good rider. He should know to wave someone around, but no. Doesn't appear that he's interested in that at this point. I often wondered how those things are to drive. Well, a chance to pass, and some more riders are coming. And I finally got the wave. Patience, my friend, the key to motorcycle riding. And riding like you're invisible. Don't ever forget that. We all forget it, but don't forget it. Whenever you see somebody, just automatically say, they don't see me. So we are about 40 miles into this Cherohala Skyway that runs about 50 miles from one side to the other across the top of the mountain. We're back down to about 2,000 as far as our elevation, and the temperature is 74. It got down in the mid-60s. Probably forgot to tell you that. So we'll be in Tellico in just a little bit. Hope you enjoyed that sunny, rainy, sunny, wet roads, dry roads kind of run across the top of the Cherohala Skyway. Closer and closer to Tellico. Roads have dried up. Starting to pick up a little bit more traffic. Got my visor open a little bit here to try and get it to dry out. some wind. Got us a Jeep here. Normally don't like to follow this close. The chances are so few to pass someone. I tend to stay a little bit closer in case I get a shot. I can go. But patience. Here we go. Tellico, Bald River Falls, 6 miles. So we're supposed to turn right back there. All clear. Alright, so thanks for watching. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this moto vlog, make sure you click the like button. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the webpage, realmotovlog.com. Until next time, remember, ride like you're invisible.